Right, in this lecture we'll see some properties about this normal distribution. So firstly, let me define the probability density function for this normal distribution. Suppose say x is any continuous random variable and x is said to follow normal distribution if its probability density function is given by fx is equals to 1 over sigma root 2 pi e power minus half x minus mu by sigma whole squared, whenever x is in between plus infinity and minus infinity. So whenever the probability density function of any continuous random variable is in this way, we say that the x is said to follow normal distribution. And here in this function, mu and sigma are indicating mean and standard deviation of the distribution. So already we have these mean and sigma are included in the function itself. We are writing the function in terms of its mean and standard deviation. See, the mean of this distribution, the center of this distribution is indicated here like x is equal to mu, because you are taking the values taken with the random variable on x-axis and the function fx on y-axis. The graph looks in this way, for which mean of the distribution is that x is equal to mu. And let me give you a simple example of the random variable x which is following the normal distribution. Just for an example, if you look into the heights of the human beings, usually at x is equals to, suppose say this is like 160 centimeters, like 165 centimeters, 170 centimeters and 180 centimeters likewise, and this would be like 155, this is 150, this is 145, likewise 140, something like that. So these are the heights in centimeters. So usually in the larger community, the individuals which are having the height 160 centimeters will be more in number. That's why I can say the probability will be high at this 160 centimeters. I can say 160 is mean of this distribution heights of the human beings. And what does it mean, like what standard deviation is? Standard deviation is the value which will be the unit which is the value which indicates what is the spread of the distribution, the highest number of people are concerned in which region about the mean. So in and around this 160, in which range the individuals are being included. So that is what this sigma indicates actually. Say if this is the mean of this heights, we'll look into what is median and what is mode also. So median of the distribution is what? So median of any probability, statistical data is the the value of x at which the prior to this x and after to this x, the data value should be equal in number. I mean to say, whatever the probability is there, in our sense, whatever the probability is there below this x is equals to mu. I can say, in other words, I can say the probability whenever the random variable x is less than mu is equivalent to the probability whenever x is greater than mu. That particular value of x is stated as median of this distribution. So the value of x at which the probabilities are equal in number, that particular value of x is stated as median of this distribution. As you clearly see, this x value, x is equal to mu, is only acting as median of this distribution. At this value only, both the probability is nothing but the area under the curve are going to be same in this case. So here our median is x is equal to mu only. Now, what is mode of the distribution? Mode of any statistical data. Mode is nothing but the value of x which is repeated more frequently. In other words, I can say the mode is the number which is having highest probability. As we already know, 160 centimeters is the one at which we have got highest probability. So that is stated as in the graph itself. You can see x is equal to mu is only mode of the distribution. Or when to find the mode, we need to find out the highest value, maximum value of this function, the value of x at which the function is having maximum value. And for that purpose, we'll do this simple clarification, like f of x is given to you. You understand finding the highest value of f of x, and for that we'll firstly find the value of x at which first derivative is 0, and then at the same value of x we need to find out f double dash and whether it is giving a negative value or not. Suppose for a particular value of x, if the first derivative is 0, second derivative is negative, this particular value of x is treated as mode of the distribution, or at this value of x, this function will have maximum value, and that is only treated as mode of the distribution. But from the graph, as you can see, at x is equals to mu only, the function has its peak, highest value. I can say x is equals to mu is only mode of the distribution. So with this information, we can conclude that for this normal distribution, mean, median and mode all are equal. I can say this distribution is unimodal. And see, we treat this as a property of this normal distribution. So the property what we have seen here is the mean, median, mode all for this normal distribution are equal, and otherwise I can say this normal distribution is unimodal. And just by looking at the graph itself, you can observe two more simple properties of this distribution. The first one is this graph is bell shaped. It's a bell shaped graph. And the other thing is that it is symmetrical about the axis x is equal to mu. See, this is the axis which is x is equal to mu. This is the line indicating x is equal to mu, and along this mu, I mean the curve is symmetrical about this x is equal to mu. So what actually means, like what symmetrical means is that if you fold the paper along this axis, both the sides of the curve will get coincides. Hope you understood that property. So it is bell shaped, symmetrical about x is equals to mu. And the other property I can say that this axis containing the values of the random variable is acting as asymptote of this curve. So your line x axis, the values of x, random variable x axis is asymptote of normal curve. So what do you mean by actually asymptote is? Like asymptote is the tangent of the given curve which intersects the given curve at infinite distances. So I can say this is asymptote of this curve. So it is bell shaped, symmetrical about x is equals to mu, and it is, the curve is having its asymptote as x-axis. And also mean, median, mode all will be equal for this normal distribution. Clear? Right. Coming to another property of this normal distribution, we'll look at area property. I can simply say area property. As we already know, in case of continuous distribution, if it is probability density function, area is indicating its corresponding probability. Suppose you are interested in finding the probability whenever the random variable x is taking the values in between a and b. Suppose your a is somewhere here and b is somewhere here. In between these two ordinates, we need to find out the area, probability. This probability is nothing but the area under the normal curve. Area under the normal curve between x is equals to a and x is equals to b. The ordinates x is equals to a and x is equals to b. So your probability is nothing but area under the normal curve. Suppose we need to find out the area in between 0 and 1, so that you will be finding the area under the normal curve between x is equal to 0 and x is equals to 1, but which is nothing but integral of the given probability density function between your ordinates x is equal to a and b. because this definite integral will give you area under the normal curve. So basically the probability of any continuous distribution will be an integration, definite integral here. And prior to this area property, let me tell you one thing that, so in this probability density function itself, we have indicated a letter which is sigma when indicating standard deviation. See, suppose say this is the point with this sigma distance, this is the point mu minus sigma, and this would be mu plus sigma. See, at these 2 points, I'm telling you, at these 2 points, there will be dips of the curve. I can say the change is there in the curvature of this curve. So these dips of the curve are called as points of inflection, I can say. These 2 points, I mean, at x is equals to mu minus sigma and x is equal to mu plus sigma, there are dips of the curve. Those 2 points are treated as points of inflection. So here I write points of inflection. So points of inflection of this graph are at x minus mu, sigma mu minus sigma and mu plus sigma. These 2 points are treated as points of inflection. Again, I am repeating, points of inflection is nothing but the dips of the curve. Otherwise, the curvature suddenly changes at those 2 points of the curve. Now, suppose if we find out the area between these 2 points of inflections, how do you find the area between these 2? You are interested in finding the area between these 2 ordinates. I mean to say, this area is required, and that could be found by using integral mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma, the given density function dx. This gives you the area between these 2 ordinates. And see, if we find it, it would be giving you 68% of the complete area under the curve. It would be covered like 68% of the complete area under the normal curve. But as we already know, the complete area will be 1 unit because it is probability density function. It indicates like total probability that will be giving you 1. But between these 2 ordinates, there will be 68% of the probability. There will be 68% of the area. In other words, I can say these many units, 0.68 units. See, with standard deviation sigma units, about x is equal to mu, I mean about the point x is equal to mu, with sigma units distance, there will be 68% area will be covered. Suppose if you think of this random variable is taking heights of the human beings. As we already seen, like at x is equal to mu, I mean to say at x is equal to 160 centimeters, mean average value is being placed. Suppose if your sigma is equal to 5 units, I mean to say this would be 165, this would be 155 centimeters. So within this range, within this neighborhood, with 155 to 165, the probability will be 0.68. The higher, at most probability is been placed between these 2 ordinates. So otherwise I can say the most of the people are deviated from x is equal to mu are with 5 units distance. Hope you understand that. And again, between mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, the area, if we consider, if we calculate, that would be giving you 95.4%. That is roughly 0.954 of this total probability. As we already know, 95% of 100 will be 0.954. I mean to say, if this is mu plus 2 sigma and this point is stated as mu minus 2 sigma, between these 2 ordinates, if we calculate the area, there will be 95%. There will be 95% area will be covered between these 2 ordinates. Now, suppose if you think of like what will be the area between mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma, and area is nothing but this definite integral, and that would be giving you 99.7%. I mean, between these two, like mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma, almost all area will be covered. The area will be covered in between these two is 99.7%. So let me roughly write the area between these two will be 68%. I think you can see the difference. And the area between these two ordinates will be 95.4%. And area between these two ordinates will be 99.7%. Almost all area will be covered between these two only. So this is what treated as your area property of this normal distribution. Let me again tell you what area property is. So area is nothing but your probability. So probability between these two ordinates, between A and B, is nothing but area under the normal curve, and that could be found by using this definite integral. And since if mu is mean of the distribution and sigma is standard deviation, between these ordinates like mu minus sigma and mu plus sigma, 68% area will be covered, and between these two 95%. Between these ordinates there will be 99.7% will be covered. So almost all area will be covered in between mu minus 3 sigma and mu plus 3 sigma only. So prior to this mu minus 3 sigma and after this mu plus 3 sigma, there will be 0.003% area only will be left with. Thank you.